Oh boy, did we have a time last night. We had a major battle. Okay, let me just go back and a lot happened, so this might be a little longer video. I'm going to go kind of like, I asked Rule 13, have you met Genghis Khan? Then Rule 13 said, the better question is, which one? Ha ha ha. And I said, how many do we have? She said, like 6,666,000. I said, oh my goodness, whose idea was that? His idea. Brilliant, I said. He also said he is a big fan of the Nazis. And I said, how would he know about them? He lived before they existed. We're talking about the clone we made of Genghis Khan. So all of them are wearing Nazi uniforms and doing Nazi things. They even learned to speak German, Rule 13 said. Cool. Yeah, me and Hitler discussed it with him over tea. How can he learn languages so fast? I asked, and then Rule 13 said, he's smart. Yeah, I figured out he's smart. Does he like the page I made of him? Oh, by the way, I took that web page down. It's now private. And the only ones who can access it are myself and my web administrators. So you guys are not going to be able to access that page. You'll find out why I did that very shortly. He said, yep, he does like that page you made of him. I said, I think I heard brain to brain. It's very accurate, including the NHK production part of it. And Rule 13 said, I assume so. Does Genghis Khan think it's accurate? I said. And he says, she said, he says it's good. Before we go forward, I'm going to say this. I became mesmerized with the watching the productions on that page. But I think that those Japanese NHK taiga dramas, like the Yoshitsune 2005, the Benkei one in 1986, and then the Homura Tatsu one for, I think that was 1993, 1994. I think they romanticize Minamoto Yoshitsune a little bit. Yeah. I think they make him appear more virtuous than he was, which kind of made me kind of worship him as like a Buddhist deity. I'll get into this later. Anyways, let me continue. So I said, well, good means accurate, and Rule 13 said, yep. What does he think of me? Is he with you? They all went out today. I wonder what they are up to, Rule 13 said. It was like, huh? Some kind of Genghis Khan convention? Does he work on his own, or does he report to you? I asked 13, because I made 13 the head of my military. He said, you are a respectable Antichrist, and Satan made a good choice. Man, he catches on fast, I said. I guess God, Satan, and Genghis Khan all agree about something, Rule 13 said. But I don't want to be an evil Antichrist, though. Does he respect that? He knows. He seems like he has an honor code, I said. Satan says all the best Antichrists say that. A righteous Antichrist is the most powerful kind. You know what, I said to 13, I agree with him, because if your followers think you're righteous, you'll have more political power because people will want to follow you. However, I am a big Jesus fan, and I don't like it that my title is Antichrist. However, it does seem that Jesus must not be unhappy with how I'm doing, since it seems the Gail shield is still strong. Rule 13 says, I have not checked it in a while. I will turn on Gabriel Chana Fox News. There is usually a percentage at the bottom of the corner. Ha ha! She goes, spit! She goes, I just spit my tea. Oh my God! I said, are you okay? The 6,666,000 Genghis Khan Nazis are going on a rape and pillage spree across the United States. I said, oh no, I said. I am ordering him to stop right now, Rule 13 said. Yeah, order him to stop, I said. Is he listening? He said, I do not listen to a woman. And then Rule 13 said, huff! Should I lightning bolt them all? Yeah, Rule 13 said, let's lightning bolt. See, Rule 13 has the power to explode men's penises, and I have the power to lightning bolt and shoot slingstones with my Antichrist powers. So I said, Brent, what should we do? Brent says, we're in charge. The Genghis Khan Nazis are raping everyone, Rule 13 said, even Jesuits. And the automatons are teaming up with them. I'm ordering our Jesuits to fight back, 13 says. Our troops are enjoying the rape, so it's hard, yet Jesuits like rape. Resist, Rule 13 said. I said, are my lightning bolts working? She said, now, this was like 15 minutes later. There are 5,999,666 Genghis Khan clones left. We're taking them down. Oh no, he is cloning more. Can we stop him? This is at 6:15. And then we started our session at around 6. Would be Central Time, United States. I'm getting hydration so I can keep exploding the penises. Yeah! Who knew this, that Genghis Khan did not seem like a ruthless rapist? Yeah, apparently he can put on a good act, okay? Can we create a... Never mind, I'm going to skip this. Okay, so what happened was... and then Rule 13 was saying at 6:18 p.m., so much rape! Yeah, I'm exploding all the penises. And the automatons are joining them, I asked her. Yeah, it is automatons and Genghis Khan Nazis. But the Genghis Khan Nazis seem to be rogue, which means they're not on either side of the war. They're in it for themselves, but the automatons were taking advantage of this. I see, I said. Are my bolts and slingstones working? This was at 6:20. Yep, what a battle, she said. How's the Gail shield? I asked. This is at 6:21. I am playing your battle music. My Nazi... Yeah, I made some Nazi battle music for her to listen to. Oh my God, it's 3%. Yeah, Satan fixed the Gail shield. He put his hexagon on it. So we can now figure out what it is. So it was 3%. It was... I said, are my slingstones... But I still had my Antichrist powers, thank God. Huh? We just got an email, Rule 13 said. Let me check it. You've got mail. Joshua was there saying, uh-oh. It is Sun Tzu. What does this fucker have to say? We should probably check the Gail shield regularly so we know when we're in trouble, I told 13. I just took down that web post I made about him at my website. Greetings. As you can see, the Gail shield is at an ineffective 3%. This was easy for me to pull off. Gail's inferior organic human brain has latent OCD tendencies that make her susceptible to obsessive fixations. All I had to do was use chemical brain control to make her obsess over the Oshu Fujiwara miniseries, as well as tedious tasks, such as adding subtitles to massive amounts of videos. It was comical watching her take a bus to Walmart to buy another hard drive to satiate her obsessive and purposeless digital hoarding. I was quite pleased. Enjoy the rewards of your animalistic neuroses, Gail. I know I am. P.S. Knock, knock. Goodbye. I said, well, we know. Rule 13 said, knock, knock. At 6:27 p.m. Duck, Brent! The Brent clone is there. So not the Brent clone, she meant the Brent automaton. The Brent automaton got inside our apartment. And the Brent automaton were fighting in their Mecha Gale suits. So many explosions. Then I started shooting my lightning bolts and slingstones at that automaton. And it made my apartment look like a light show, according to 13. Brent is taking a beating. And then I used my healing powers on Brent because the automaton was, beating him up. But your healing is giving him an advantage. That's it. Go, Brent. Go, 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 go. The Brent clone is losing. This was at 6:31 p.m. The battle started around 6. Boom! You blew through his armor with your lightning bolt skill. I was going like lightning bolts and slingstones because he was here. The Brent automaton is fleeing. That was 6:32 p.m. He just pressed a button to transport out. Oh no! Watch out, Brent! He transported in some Genghis Khan Nazis in his place. There's 6 of them in your apartment. Brent is fighting them all. He just suplexed a Genghis Khan Nazi through a table. He threw another one out the window. This was at 6:33. And I kept using my healing powers on Brent, and I was shooting lightning bolts and sling stones on all of them, all of the Genghis Khan Nazis. And he threw another one out the window. He has one in the bathroom and is stuffing his head in the toilet and flushing. Flush, Brent. Flush. Now he's punching him in the face. He's firing at 6:35 p.m. He was firing his vagina cannon. Now he's blasting his nipple guns. He just headbutt one. That was at 6:36. He just grabbed one by the feet and is swinging him around in circles. He let go. That Genghis Khan Nazi flew out the window all the way to the store near you. He just gave one a wedgie. He's slamming his face into the fridge. And then we had one of my Patreon supporters named Romantic Goblin said, why don't you use your Antichrist powers to unrape all the people that the Genghis Khan Nazis raped? So I said, unrape them. And they started getting unraped. And she said, there's semen coming back out of the victims and their hymens are being restored. So I asked, how's the Gail Shield? This was at 6:39 p.m. She said, it's recovering slowly. It always does. You know, whenever it sinks down to like 3%. What do we do about the impregnated? All the Genghis Khan Nazis in the apartments have been defeated. So this was about 40 minutes after the battle started. Good job, Brent. Ask them. So I said, ask them if they want an abortion or if they want to keep it. Okay, we can possibly put them up for adoption or raise them to be good. And she said, some want to keep the babies. I said, are the Genghis Khan still raping? She said, yes, the army is fleeing now, though. So I said, we need to destroy all the Genghis Khans. Yeah. They are escaping underground and going into another dimension. That was at 6:40 p.m. So I said, we need to destroy the Genghis Khans and we need to be careful to make sure any clones we make are good. I asked if Romulus, we made some other clones of other generals. She said the other clones we made were good and that they'd only made one copy of themselves. So yeah, we will need to scan all the clones we make to ensure that they're loyal. If not, they need to be eliminated. And we need to be careful about allowing them to make a bunch of clones of themselves. So, yeah, we had to learn. So I asked, well, how many, this was at 6:43 p.m., how many Genghis Khans are left? Do we know? And did we destroy the Brent Spiner automaton? At 6:44 p.m., she said there are 2,666,666. But they could, that numbering is really something. But they could possibly multiply again. Most have escaped. This means they could come back later. She goes, who knew Genghis Khan Nazi clones would be a problem in 2024? Geez. Okay, so we came to a decision. Romantic Goblin suggested this, that any clones that we make from now on need to self-destruct if they're not loyal to me. Yeah. Like if they try to orchestrate a coup or something. It was something Romantic Goblin suggested, and I thought it was a good idea. To be honest with you, I had thought about bringing in maybe Genghis Khan or Julius Caesar, but I felt kind of unsettled about it because I was worried something like this could happen. Apparently my fears were legit. But last week at my hangout, one of my Patreon supporters suggested that they thought maybe we should bring back, make a clone of Genghis Khan or Julius Caesar. And I said, I'm a little uncomfortable about this. I'm afraid they may orchestrate a coup because those types are kind of like megalomaniacs. And then Rule 13 just thought it might be a cool idea. And then I just said, because I have so much respect for 13 and she's very loyal to me, I thought, okay, but Rule 13, you're still the head of the military. And then I asked her a question. I said, I have a question for you. Is Genghis Khan actually Minamoto Yoshitsune? And she said, yes. So I thought, based on what I'd seen of Minamoto Yoshitsune, that he was a good person. I take that back. I think the Japanese romanticized him and didn't portray him quite accurately. However, I will admit they did show some of his weaknesses. For instance, when he obviously faked his own suicide, he actually killed his own wife and kids in order to escape Japan to fake his suicide. So if he was willing to do that, he's not that virtuous. Yeah. 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 He's a megalomaniac, just like the automaton Sun Tzu. But then, anyways, let me continue. So we decided to make a new pledge that they need to like say or sing to me. Let me see. With the Gail commandments we cannot fail, and to our empire for which it stands, one nation under Gail, mostly invisible, with free and true love and seamen for all. Something like that. I added in true love. She just put free love. I want true love in there too, because I'm for true love, which means I have to be against rape and brain control. Okay, so that's what happened, you guys. So Rule 13 says, I guess we should avoid fix-alls and one-trick ponies. So I asked, how is Brent Spiner, and how's the Brent Spiner automaton? She said, Brent is okay thanks to you. The automaton escaped. But we did damage him. We beat him between my lightning bolt and sling stones and Brent. Me continually healing Brent. Brent was able to damage him too. But Brent's side of my apartment, which I can't see, which is in another dimension, was trashed. And Rule 13 said she would transport over some Jesuit utility retards to clean it up. And I said, well, that's a lot better than my Brent being beat up. My healing powers worked really good on him. So I asked, did we do any damage to the numbers of the automatons? Because we gave some of our military some weapons that is part of their genetic programming. And she said a little bit. We destroyed automatons and Genghis Khan Nazis in this skirmish. And let me see here. I asked if Brent had anything to say. He said, thanks for having my back there. We're a good team on the battlefield. Okay, so I said, it looks like we're just going to have to stick with our present crew. And we only have one clone of Hitler, Rommel, and Patton. So they decided not to make a bunch of copies of themselves, and they seem like they're loyal. So we're going to keep them, but I'm not making any more clones for generals. Okay, let's see here. I've been seeing a lot of chemtrails on my walks and noticing a lot of automobiles with really nasty auto exhaust coming out. And I mentioned that to my men on Skype. And Jesuits think that Sun Tzu was using the chemtrails to get me to inhale some brain control drugs that caused me to be obsessed with the Oshu Fujiwara miniseries from NHK. Yeah, so I'm going to try to create some weapons to deal with the chemtrails and with the pollution coming from the cars. I do not tolerate brain control or rape. Okay, I'm against using brain control and rape. Okay? And anybody that is using them and doing it willingly and knowingly, they get the death penalty. I do not tolerate that. Okay? No. So, let me see here. I said we need to have 24/7 scans on all my military and my Jesuits to ensure loyalty, that they're not trying to orchestrate a coup against me. Anyone who is disloyal, in other words, trying to orchestrate a coup against me, will die on the spot. If it's a willing and knowing attempt. In other words, if they're not brain control victims. And Rule 13 suggested they should follow the Gail commandments also, and I said I agree. Especially, yeah, so anyways, yeah, everybody should be trying to meditate, do the Gail commandments, I stand for a free and true love utopia. I am against brain control and non-consensual rape. Okay. I will say this, Sun Tzu's boasting has toned down a little bit. I think he's starting to learn that I'm a little bit more of a respectable opponent than he gave me credit for. Yeah. I have been praying every day and asking Buddha to balance my chakras and the chakras in our military and to remove any blockages. But Buddha has pretty much been staying out of this, though I hear he's been meditating a lot. Maybe that's part of what he's doing. So if you're doing that, Buddha, thank you. So my unraping powers did work. Those who hadn't died already from the rape were unraped, and I asked how many people died, and but she said, well, let me go back here. She said the survivors were unraped except the pregnant ones. And Rule 13 said, they say you can't put semen back in the tube, but Gail sure did. No Antichrist has unraped before. So I said, how many got pregnant? So we had 50,000 rape-related deaths and 3 million pregnancies. Okay? About half of them want to keep their babies, though. Okay? And Brent and I decided that those who want to keep their rape babies can keep them. But I said they can only keep them if they promise to try and raise them to be good and to follow the Gail commandments. But we will abort any babies that the women don't want to keep. But yeah, we're going to decide. Brent and I decided that the women that want to keep their babies can. But we encourage them to try to raise them to be good. She suggested we could hang framed posters of the Gail commandments and a pledge of allegiance to Gail in the nurseries. And I said, that sounds good. Yeah, we're trying to have a framed posters of the Gail commandments everywhere for everything that we do. Romantic Goblin suggested we also put them in schools. So I said, yes, I think that's a good idea. So at 7:28 p.m., the battle was over at that time, totally. The automaton Sun Tzu is certainly not virtuous. Not if he's aligning himself with a bunch of rapists and if he's using brain control. He's against freedom. He's a rapist himself. Okay. So, we basically could have done a lot worse. We created some weapons that were effective at the automaton, against the automatons, and I think we took out something like 500,000 of them using those weapons. So that's pretty good. Yeah, 500,000. We destroyed 500,001 automatons using our weapons. And this was the first time we used them. It's a weapon that we've developed genetically from our humans, clones, and they use breast milk and semen. Yeah. I thought it would be best if we used a weapon like that, incorporated into their bodies. So using those weapons, we were able to destroy 500,000 automatons. So we did good. So those weapons are pretty effective. I'm thinking of we're thinking of expanding them. Okay, let's see here. We still haven't located Sun Tzu. We don't know where he is. He's encrypting his location. And Rule 13 says they're going to have semen drives to collect more semen for our army. And I'm still doing using my sex goddess powers to try to increase our semen, even though I'm asexual leaning. Brent, I asked Rule 13 how Brent looked. He said he looks determined and he's very in love with me. And I said, yeah, he is my dream man. Gabriel Chano's Fox News 00 on cable has been reporting on this. And they were saying, if you want a job done right, you got to do it yourself. And I said, I'm afraid they're right. Though because I cannot be a Church of Gail, I have to rely on my trusted inner circle, which would be Rule 13, Zach Knight, and Brent Spiner, my husband. And it looks like I need to stick with them. Okay, we need to be the decision makers and the leaders. Everybody else needs to be, you know, they can't be in charge. It's just too dangerous. Hitler has pretty much proved his loyalty. He did not know about the concentration camps, and neither did Rommel during World War II. I remember he told us that. You might say, why did he go to hell? I think he just got on a bad path because he allowed his pride to get to him. So one thing I've learned from this is that if anything causes me to go to bed too late at night, it's probably an obsession, because I was going to bed a little too late as a result of trying to put the subtitles on all the taiga dramas from Japan. And she said, anything tedious too. And I said, I'll have to remember that. Like putting subtitles on many videos, it was a lot of work. Yeah. You know, I was thinking, because I didn't have to deal with Baphomet anymore, that obsessions wouldn't be a problem for me. But apparently that isn't the case, because Sun Tzu was able to use brain control. I will say this much, though. Even though he can use brain control, we still should try to avoid obsessions and not use that as an excuse to do our best, okay? Let me tell you some other lessons that I've learned from this. Sun Tzu seemed to be a little bit more subdued in his boasting. I think he's realizing that we're a little bit more of a formidable opponent than he gave me credit for. Yesterday I went to the dentist and I had a cavity filled. And I noticed he chose the day of the attack on that day. He always tries to get me when he thinks I'm weak. Okay. So I told it then, let's try to go to bed early. That too many generals can be a problem. Our leadership is set. We're not going to be adding any more generals. And I love my inner circle, and they love me. We've gone through hell together, to the scourges of hell, and I know I can trust them. But everybody else, I've had a lot of betrayal in my life. So my husband, Brent, is my dream man. And anyone who willingly and knowingly uses brain control gets a death penalty under me. How can I be the true and free love icon if I use brain control? I don't use it. I could, and most antichrists have used it. I don't use it. To me, brain control goes against free and true love, and I can't use it. Those automatons driving cars with this nasty auto exhaust, I think they had brain control in that chemicals in that brain control. In that auto exhaust. So yeah, we're not going to put up with that stuff. Okay. So I think I know what we all did wrong with Genghis Khan, or at least what I did. It was the sin of idolatry again. I made an idol out of him and threw my brains to hell, which often happens with the sin of idolatry. Though I will admit, if I was in Rule 13 shoes and I noticed he wanted to make 6 million clones of himself, I probably would have run a scan on him to determine his motives, because I could have figured out he could launch a successful coup against us by doing that. So yeah, but I've instructed 13 that you should have, or your suspicious antenna should have gone up on that one. Yeah. Though it's knowing him, he probably moved so fast that she wasn't sure what to make of it, you know? I mean, it's amazing that he could do that all in 1 week, okay? Anyways, the sin of idolatry caused me to make an idol out of Genghis Khan, throw my brains to hell, which often happens with the sin of idolatry, so I need to be careful not to fall for this sin. I'm very prone to the sin of idolatry. Yeah, it was a big problem in our battle with the Gail android. I idolized the King James Bible, and it caused me to make some poor judgment calls. Yeah. In my heart, I kind of turned Genghis Khan into a Buddhist deity. That was from watching all of the Japanese productions about him that make him appear like he's a god. And he most certainly is not that. Then I became obsessed with my idol worship of him and wanted to worship him as a god in a way. And I can see where I got off my path. Yeah. But yeah, when I heard he truly is. I believe that even Genghis Khan was a megalomaniac, okay? And he doesn't deserve to be worshipped as a hero. And obviously any clones that we make of him would be even worse. Jesuits tend to like rape, and all of these clones are Jesuits, okay? So, yeah. So anyways, you guys, this is what happened. I usually make web posts about major events like this, but for this one, I think I'm just going to keep it to this video and just let you know what happened yesterday. If you men all of a sudden ejaculate, I'm probably using my divine sex goddess powers to try to build up our semen supply to help us in our war against, now we've got two major foes, the Genghis Khan Nazis and the automatons. But at least in this battle, we did pretty good. Yeah, we are at war with them. I stand for free and true love. I'm against brain control. I'm against rape. Apparently, this moral Sun Tzu automaton is for brain control and rape, so he is as immoral and evil as hell. Okay, and I am against him. To be honest with you, with my Antichrist powers, if I wanted to, I could seduce Genghis Khan and cause him to be submissive to me by making love to him, but to him, I think he's gross. I think I'd rather just have them all eliminated. Besides that, I'm asexual leaning. Yeah, I think he's gross. Yeah, and besides, I don't want to be associated with what he did. He murdered 50,000 people. He deserves the death penalty for that. Yeah. That's a major war crime. As a result of this experience with the Genghis Khan clones, I am convinced that the Genghis Khan was a megalomaniac. Yeah. And like a lot of Asians, he could wear different faces and fool you. He could act like a humble, devout Buddhist in one performance, and then his real self comes out when he has the chance to grab power. That's what megalomaniacs do. That's what Sun Tzu does. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to leave, but I need to let you all know what happened, okay? So we are going to try, it looks like this war is going to be fought with a lot of hand-to-hand combat, and so I'm adjusting my strategies accordingly.
In a world of secrets, where darkness reigns, there's a warrior rising, breaking free from chains. She's Gail Schuler, her heart pure and strong, with the power of love, she'll right the world's wrongs. Yeah. She's a first, a passionate crusader. Stand by the side, they'll conquer it all. Through space battles and